Thomas, Evan Bach, and Dale Hummel, and a big assist tonight from Jake Linder. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 2 of the three-game second half West Coast League Series between the Corvallis Knights and the Ridgefield Raptors. Last night in Game 1 in beautiful Ridgefield, the Knights cooled off the Raptors, who had won 13 consecutive games, were 13-0 in second half play. The Knights jumped out early and won 7-5. Caden Siegel, the winning pitcher, and Thomas Ferraggiaro, the switch hitter, hit a home run. We will meet Thomas after a 2-minute break and get his story about life growing up at Central Catholic in Wilsonville, going on to Santa Clara, and his summer with the Corvallis Knights. Thomas Ferraggiaro, Game 2, Wilson Motors night, a big crowd coming in, 77 degrees, breezy, beautiful night for baseball. Let's meet Thomas Ferraggiaro after this 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. The Knights in Ridgefield continue their series on this beautiful evening at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. I'm joined by a guy whose name I'm going to have him say, because I've been saying it, PA announcers, everybody, live stream people, say it. I've been saying Thomas Ferraggiaro. Now, Thomas joins me, the man himself. Is that close? Is it anywhere near? How do you say your name?
That's pretty good. It's Thomas Ferraggiaro.
Thomas Ferraggiaro.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a beautiful name. I assume, if whatever it may mean, Italian descent.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have roots deep in the old country? Did you know much about your family history?
Yeah, our family is from Genoa, which is kind of north Italy, on the coast. But yeah, I think 4 or 5 generations ago, maybe, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, we did have some history there. Yeah.
Have you made trips over?
No, never been over to Europe. I want
Well,
to go though.
that'll happen for you someday, and you can find out more about your roots. Did you grow up in Wilsonville? I mean, are you an Oregonian most of your life?
Yeah, I was born in Portland, but my family's kind of bounced around. We lived in Spokane for a little bit, spent 5 years down in Marietta, Georgia, and then we came back up to Portland, and we've only been in Wilsonville about 4 years, but yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
It's a beautiful area, no doubt. But while in Wilsonville, you commuted to Central Catholic. Is that why? What was the basis of that?
Yeah,
choice?
so my family was actually planning on moving out of Portland after I graduated high school. I had 2 older siblings, and it worked out well living in Portland when all 3 of us could go to the same high school together. But then COVID hit, and we found a property that was too good to pass up, and so yeah, I told my parents that I was willing to make the 30-minute drive to school.
Is that about what it was? I know Portland traffic on I-5 or whatever going up in the morning can be bad. Was it bad a lot of days?
Yeah, if you left late, if you didn't wake up with that alarm, you were getting stuck. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're glad you made it through there. And then opportunities came out of Central Catholic. Santa Clara came calling. Tell us a little bit about that opportunity.
Yeah, it was great. Santa Clara has been a wonderful home for me for the past 2 years. I really love the coaches there, and it kind of came about through summer ball. I played with CBA for a few tournaments, California Baseball Association, and some of the coaches there kind of really helped me connect with the Santa Clara coaches, and the rest is history. Yeah.
You do like the community there, the atmosphere, the program. I mean, I haven't spent much time in Santa Clara proper, other than, kind of in and out of there for Oregon State trips over the years, staying in hotels in Santa Clara near. Anyway, I don't know much about it. How do you like it?
Yeah, I mean, I love Santa Clara. How can you not love the Bay Area, except those housing prices? But I mean, the weather's beautiful. It's a great spot to play baseball. You're surrounded by a bunch of, you're in Silicon Valley, so you're surrounded by a bunch of great locations to go and work after college. But Santa Clara is beautiful. I love it.
Thomas Ferragaro, my guest on the pregame show. In that area, have you had your appetite whetted at all, being in the great Silicon Valley, about after baseball, what you might want to do?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it too much. I'm currently majoring in economics, and I know that can take me a lot of places. But right now we're going to stay on the baseball train and see how far that can take me.
Speaking of that, the train has brought you to Corvallis, back to your home state, and playing for the Knights. What have you made of the experience so far?
It's been awesome. I couldn't ask for a better summer program to be a part of. The Corvallis Knights care about winning. They care about summer ball. They care about development. And as a player that's trying to grow and develop and really see how far I can become as a baseball player, this is the perfect spot for me, which is great.
And it seems like, and I didn't see the game in Ridgefield last night, but you homered, you had a good game. How do you feel your game has progressed as the summer has gone along? Yeah,
the summer, it started out a little slow. The rest of the team was picking me up, and I started just, staying in the cage, staying with my process, continuing to work each day at it, and it's starting to come along. Yeah.
The things you've been working on then, you had a really big freshman year. Statistically, it looks like the numbers weren't as good this year as they were your freshman year with Santa Clara. So what have you been trying to work on to get to where you want to be your junior year coming?
Yeah, sophomore year, I had a hamstring injury, which kind of kept me out for most of the season. So it was hard to kind of get that rhythm back in there. But I'm a big, T-work guy, trying to understand my swing and all that. And so throughout this summer, I've kind of been working on that. And as we build into junior year, definitely want to develop a power tool, start putting more balls in gaps, and start having some fun running these bases.
And so last night was an example of it, right?
Correct, yeah. I got a nice first pitch slider over the plate and put a good swing on it.
Good for you. Last couple of things. I talked to you about this down in Springfield, about switch hitting and how long you've been doing it. A pretty long time. How difficult is that, though? Have you ever thought of abandoning it just so you can concentrate on one swing path, or is it a good thing for you to hit from both sides?
Yeah, I love switch hitting. There's definitely been moments where the thought has creeped into my head, but I've quickly pushed it away of staying with hitting both sides. They do say, though, that there's a curse with switch hitting. One side always feels good and one side will always feel bad. But I love hitting from both sides of the plate. I think it's a real advantage in the game. I think the ability to switch and have the pitch come into you, I think that's a big advantage. And so I'm going to continue working at it and see what I can do.
And position, from a position standpoint, you've been moving around a little bit. What do you like best? Where do you feel most comfortable?
Yeah, freshman year of college, I played a lot of third base, and sophomore year, even though I didn't have much time on the field, I was going to play a lot of second base, and I love staying in the infield. So whichever spot is going to get me onto the field, I love. But third base, that long throw. That long throw is pretty fun.
Yeah, those are the thoughts of the Knights. Thomas Ferragaro, the switch hitter who is in the starting lineup tonight. We'll give you the entire lineup as we get ready for Grant Clevenger to deliver the first pitch in the second game of this West Coast League Series on Wilson Motors night, with a big crowd coming in thanks to the generosity of Bob Bending and the team at Wilson Motors at 5th of Buchanan in Corvallis, giving out free tickets. It's always a big night every summer here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Tonight is no exception. A lot of fans coming in. I was just out in front of the main entrance moments ago, and there's a pretty long line still making their way through, turning in those free tickets that fans have been picking up throughout the season at Wilson Motors. Wilson Motors night about to get underway. Taylor Takata leading things off for the Ridgefield Raptors, the right-hand hitting second baseman. And appropriately on Wilson Motors night, it's Grant Clevenger pitching because he is in the home of the Bendings. They are his host family. He misses high and away to Taylor Takata, does Grant. The 1-0 fastball is in there for a strike. And here we go on a breezy and cooler Wednesday night. 77 degrees, wind 16-20. 1 ball and 1 strike. The left-hander out of Nebraska. Clevenger misses outside, ball 2, 2-1. Taylor Takata leading off at second base. Julian Nunez batting second at shortstop. Hunter Katchke, the league's leading hitter, hitting third and right. Luke Iverson, the cleanup hitter, in catching. The 2-1 pitch fouled at the plate to even matters at 2-2. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Justin Stransky. Richard Tejeda III batting sixth at first base for Ridgefield. Jack Salmon batting seventh in left field. Kyle Mamarian hitting eighth at third base. Desan Harris batting ninth in center. Clevenger delivers a 2-2 fastball high and away, ball 3, 3-2. Wyatt Nickel gets the start, a 6'2", 165-pound right-hander out of Pepperdine for the Ridgefield Raptors. 13-1 in second half play. The one last night at the hands of the Knights. The 3-2 fastball from Clevenger swung on and missed. Strike 3. A good start for Big Grant. Clevenger coming into the ballgame with no decision, or actually 0-2, pardon me, but making his second start, eighth appearance. He's only worked 8 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 10 walks, 17 strikeouts, an ERA of 4.15. 1 out, nobody on, top of the first, just getting started. Julian Nunez takes low and away for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Grant working out of the bright sunlight and a gorgeous day, a low AQI again. We've been around 10 or 11. Well, so much of our beautiful state is smothered in smoke. We have been blessed thus far here in this part of the world for most of the summer anyway. And the last couple of days have been magnificent in that respect. The 2-0 fastball in there for a strike, and the count 2-1 to Julian Nunez. Top of the first inning, the red-hot Ridgefield Raptors, winners of 13 straight. They lost to the Corvallis Knights on July 3rd and 4th here before the start of the second half, and reeled off 13 consecutive wins, losing to the Knights in Ridgefield, losing here on July 3rd, 13 straight wins later. Finally lost last night 7-5 to the Knights in Ridgefield. The 2-2 pitch misses high for ball 3, 3-2 to Julian Nunez. Clevenger has gone full on each of the first 2 hitters. He struck out Taylor Takata. He's full on Nunez, starting the night at 226. Grant's 3-2 pitch misses here. And it is flirting with trouble to get 3-ball counts on consecutive hitters. And Grant, who the numbers I gave you indicate, he has been prolific when it comes to strikeouts. 17 over 8 2/3, but 10 walks. Trying to tighten that up a little bit. The big lefty getting ready for fall ball in Lincoln. The left-hander issuing a 1-out walk to Nunez. With the Raptors off to their brilliant start in South Division play in the second half, and Grant's first pitch misses, and it leads to an early meeting. Brooke Knight has asked for time. Brooke is on his way to the mound, and the umpire, Shane Kelly, is going with him. And this tells me that perhaps there's something physical going on with Grant. Dominic Titone has already been dispatched to the Corvallis Knights bullpen, along with Cole Snido. And Yoongjin Yoon heading down there with Nathan Marshall as well. And it strikes me that there's something going on physically with Grant that has been espied by Brooke Knight. And whether Grant gets another warm-up toss or two to take to see if he's good to go, we'll see. In the meantime, Clevenger has strolled behind home plate. He appears to be limping ever so slightly. Yeah, I don't want to speculate too much. I don't know what the nature of that conversation was. But I don't think that was a visit that will be charged against Brooke Knight. I think he wanted to go out and see if his big man, big lefty Grant Clevenger, was okay physically. Grant stays in without benefit of another toss to see if he's okay. He pronounces himself good to go. The 1-0 pitch to Hunter Kashke misses for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Kashke. 365, 5 homers, 22 runs batted in. A 2-0 fastball, a big swing from Hunter. The count 2 balls and a strike. Kashke having just a tremendous season, getting ready for his senior year at Utah Tech in St. George. No score, top of the first inning. Nunez at first, held on by Coulter McAnally. Clevenger delivers, swung on and fouled into the mid of Luke Lavin. That evens the count at 2-2. Grant Clevenger and Luke Lavin the battery. Coulter McAnally at first, Peyton Miller at second, Ty Yukamoto at short, Thomas Ferragaro at third, Blake Wilson in left, Brandon Cabrera in center, Kaysen Consarina in right. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit foul into Urchin Alley, the first action in the alley to our right. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kashke with Luke Iverson on deck. No score. Top of the first inning. Clevenger out of the stretch. The 2-2 fastball drilled to right and deep. Consarina, though, moving over, has a play, makes the catch. 2 down. Good contact for a guy that seemingly has been doing that all summer long. A tremendous season for Hunter Kashke, leading the league in hitting coming into the week. Flies out to deep right center. And with 1 away, that'll bring 2 down, that'll bring Luke Iverson to the plate. Kashke out of Basic High School in Las Vegas and from Bryce Harper country, where he originally attended the College of Southern Nevada, but now at Utah Tech. The first pitch to Luke Iverson misses low and away, ball 1, 1-0. No score, top of the first inning. The Knights and Raptors will continue the series tomorrow night. Yours truly will be on the call on 1240 Joe Radio. The 1-0 pitch missing for ball 2. 2-0. Luke Iverson, amongst his many skills, a concert violinist in high school. The 2-0 pitch taken for a strike, and the count 2-1. Now that's impressive. Following not only a left-handed hitting catcher such as Tim McCarver, or Yogi for that matter, but perhaps idolize Yasha Heifetz too. Pretty good role models. There goes the runner. The 2-1 pitch hits the umpire, and everybody's safe. The umpire, the base umpire, Terry Granillo, not able to get out of the way of a shot back up the middle with Julian Nunez going. A hit and run play, and it results in a base hit for Luke Iverson off of the umpire. First and second, 2 down for Justin Stransky. Iverson starting the evening at .304, a couple of homers and 23 runs batted in. Stransky, the right-hand hitting designated hitter, steps in. I think that ball would have gotten through anyway. So a form of poetic justice. The universe doesn't always work that way, but in this case, I think that ball was hit hard enough to deserve, quote unquote, to be a hit. It got a piece of the umpire. The pitch to Stransky, fisted foul off first towards the upper grandstand above the Jack Riley concourse. No balls and a strike to Stransky. He too having a huge year. .330, playing in his 30th game for the Raptors. A couple of homers, 21 runs batted in. No score, top of the first, but the Raptors, who've won 13 of 14, threatening. A bluff by Grant Clevenger, keeping an eye on Nunez at second. Julian Nunez, a one-out walk. Luke Iverson, a single off the umpire up the middle. And now Stransky with a count of no balls and a strike. Swings and hits it high and deep to left. Back goes Wilson. Forget it. It's long gone. A 3-run home run for Justin Stransky. And Ridgefield is out in front 3-0 in the top of the first inning. They didn't like the feel or the taste of losing last night after winning 13 straight. And they've jumped the Knights here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. And that will be the end of the night for Grant Clevenger. Still not sure that Grant is feeling quite right. There's something in his gait that strikes me as being not quite 100% right. And Grant will leave the game here in the top of the first inning, not able to get the final out. A one-out walk, and then a base hit, and a 3-run homer. The Raptors, the hottest team in the league and one of the hottest in the history of the league with their 13-game winning streak, snapped last night, intent on trying to even the series, and to that end, the Ridgefield Raptors off to a tremendous start. Dominic Titone will come in out of the bullpen in the top of the first inning. We will take a 2-minute pitching change break from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 3-0 Ridgefield, back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Dominic Titone going to work on Richard Tejeda III and missing with the first pitch. The left-hander following Grant Clevenger, who left and delivers to Tejeda III, who blasts one to left field and gone. And Ridgefield leads it 4-0 on back-to-back home runs in the top of the first inning. A 3-run homer for Justin Stransky, a line drive home run to left over the 14-foot fence in straightaway left field for Richard Tejeda III, and the Knights in a very unusual position, down in their own ballpark, 4-0, in the top of the first inning. Stransky hitting his third home run of the year with his 3-run blast. For Richard Tejeda III, his second. Now 19 homers on the season for Ridgefield compared to 6 for the Corvallis Knights. A slugging ball club, the hottest club in the league, and showing it. Coming back with a vengeance from their 7-5 defeat to snap a 13-game winning streak last night and have jumped the Knights up 4-0. Dominic Tatone to Jack Salmon. The first 2 pitches from Dominic miss. He's behind the count, 2 balls and no strikes to Jack. Jack hitting .247, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. The 2-0 pitch punched foul above the Knights dugout on the third base side, the Gary Baker dugout. The count 2-1. Dominic Tatone picking up for Grant Clevenger, who just didn't seem right. Whether a lower back issue, something seemed to be bothering him physically. He received a visit from Brooke Knight, carried on, but after giving up the 3-run home run, came out, and something didn't seem quite right with him. Let's hope it won't be anything long term. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed to even the count at 2-2. Tatone comes to the plate. Breaking ball got him swinging. Jack Salmon goes down. The inning is over. But a huge inning for Ridgefield, trying to get this series even. A 3-run homer and a solo shot from Justin Stransky and Richard Tejeda III, respectively. We go to the bottom of the first. Ridgefield 4, the Knights coming up back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. A rarity indeed. The Knights go to the bottom of the first inning here at Goff Stadium at Coleman Field in a 4-0 hole. A pair of home runs in the top of the inning for these red-hot Ridgefield Raptors under head coach Chris Cota. Chris has done an outstanding job with the Raptors, as well as in his distinguished career as the head coach at the College of the Canyons, just finishing up his 23rd year there. Well, the Knights hope to hit the comeback trail, and they go to work against right-hander Wyatt Nickel. Wyatt's first pitch is a fastball for a strike to our pregame show guest, Thomas Ferraggiaro. 0-1 the count, 4-0 Ridgefield, bottom of the first. Nickel delivers an off-speed pitch away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wyatt works out of the stretch with nobody on. 6'2", 165-pound right-hander out of Laguna Niguel in Southern California, Crean Lutheran High School. He comes to the plate and nicks Thomas Ferraggiaro. On the right arm, his lead arm, the switch hitter batting from the left side. Grazed by the pitch. Nickel competing at Pepperdine does something that is the last thing that he was looking to do, clearly, with a 4-run lead. Give the Knights a free pass to open the bottom of the first. Ty Yukamoto the batter First ball swinging, Kai swings through it. No balls and 1 strike. 4-0, bottom of the first inning. Nickel to the plate. Yukamoto sprays it foul above the Jack Riley concourse down the left side. 0-2. Wyatt making his 6th start and 9th appearance for the Raptors. 23 2/3, 31 hits, 12 walks, 27 strikeouts, a record of 1-0, an ERA of 7.22. Comes to the plate, a comebacker, speared by Nickel. He goes to Nunez for 1, on to first for the double play. The beat goes on for the Ridgefield Raptors. They are doing so many things well, and a guy that is very difficult to double up. Tai Yukamoto, a .323 hitter with 12 runs batted in, grounds into a double play, 1-6-3 after the Raptors had scored 4 in the top of the inning. Blake Wilson, the hitter. Ridgefield starting the day 13-1 in the South in the second half. Slider to Blake, misses for ball 1. The Pickles in second at 12-3. The Knights, who won the first half and by virtue of that have clinched home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs, are 8-5, tied with Ben for third. The pitch to Blake, hit over my head, foul, and into Urchin Alley. And the Urchins give chase in front of the entrance to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 down and nobody on in the bottom of the first, and the Raptors leading the Knights 4-0. The overall record, the Knights still have the lead in that category, but not by much. The Knights are 30-10, the Pickles at 29-11, Bend at 24-16, and the Red Hot Raptors 23-17. Still 7 back of the Knights in overall record. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Blake Wilson, fouling off the 1-1 pitch. Blake starting the evening for the Knights at 3-11, takes the 1-2 pitch just off the plate. Ferraggiaro leading off at third. Tai Yukamoto in the 2-hole at short. Blake in left field tonight batting third. Brandon Cabrera on deck, the cleanup hitter. Kevin Takeuchi batting fifth, the DH. Kaysen Consarinha hitting sixth in right. Luke Lavin batting seventh and catching. Blake takes down and away, ball 3, 3-2. Coulter McAnally hitting eighth at first base. Peyton Miller batting ninth at second. And Grant Clevenger has already been replaced on the bump for the Knights by Dominic Titone. Right-hander Wyatt Nickel with a 3-2 pitch to Blake Wilson. Fastball low for ball 4. A 2-out free pass to Blake, a hit batter and a walk in the inning, but Nickel has helped himself by inducing a 1-6-3 double play ball, so not in any sort of trouble at the moment, with Brandon Cabrera coming to the plate. Brandon stepping in at .293, a homer and 24 runs batted in. Brandon takes a strike, knee high, 0-1 the count. For the Raptors defensively, Wyatt Nickel and Luke Iverson the battery. Richard Tejeda the third at first, Taylor Takata at second, Julian Nunez at short, Kyle Mamarian at third. Wyatt Nickel to the plate, slider in there, strike two, 0-2 to Brandon Cabrera. In the outfield for Ridgefield, Jack Salmon in left, Deshaun Harris in center, Hunter Kashke in right. The outfield fanned out straight away at medium depth. Blake Wilson drawing the 2-out walk, held on by Tejeda the third. Cabrera lifts one foul to the right and out of play. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Brooke Knight coaching at third. Brooke in his 16th year as the skipper, 7 straight championships and 10 overall. Ed Nags coaching at first. 330 down both lines at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 365 to the alleys. 400 feet to straightaway center. Fastball high. The count 1-2. Looking out to the alley in left center field, Wilson Motors emblazoned on the left center field fence under the numbers that mark the Oregon State National Championships, 06, 07, and 2018. The pitch to Brandon misses high, ball 2, 2-2. And that will remain on the fence out in left for the rest of the summer. It's Wilson Motors night tonight and a big crowd. Thanks for joining us here on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. The 2-2 pitch, Cabrera, fly ball to right center field. Deshaun Harris giving chase. He's over there to make the catch. The inning is over. Ridgefield continues hot. A little stumble last night at the Rourke, but they're out of the gate quickly tonight. 4 runs in the first. The Knights come up empty in their half. At the end of 1, Ridgefield 4, the Knights nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Four to nothing Ridgefield, top of the second inning. Kyle Mamarian swings at an off-speed pitch and misses, hitting just 176 through 27 games this summer for the Raptors, who lead the Knights 4 to nothing. Top of the second. Dominic back to the plate. Fastball grounded foul outside of third. No balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Mamarian. Just finished up his redshirt freshman year at Gonzaga out of Skyview High School in Vancouver. Not far, of course, from Ridgefield, encompassing southwest Washington and the great communities there. Tatone delivers in the turf, ball 1, 1-2, as the big crowd continues to come in. The combination of the free tickets distributed by Wilson Motors and a cooling in our weather. It's just brought out a big crowd. A lot of sweatshirts and wraps and blankets brought. The 1-2 pitch down and away, ball 2, 2-2. It's not as though deep summer is over with by any means, but a little bit of a cooling trend going on here now. 77 at game time. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 4-0 Ridgefield. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed, dropped by Luke Lavin, picks up the baseball immediately though, and tags out Mamarian. 1 away in the top of the second. Deshaun Harris will come to the plate for the red hot Ridgefield Raptors. Good for them. Great opportunity to make the playoffs. But that best overall record is an important thing to keep an eye on. Should the Raptors continue to play at the level they're playing, they'll win the second half. But the Knights still have an opportunity to sew up the overall best record. First pitch missing, the count 1-0. And it's interesting in that by winning the first half, even if Ridgefield wins the second half and wins by plenty, the Knights would still have home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs against Ridgefield. Deshaun takes low, ball 2, 2-0. Tatone comes back. Harris swings and misses. 2-1 the count. DeSaun at 287, a homer and 13 runs batted in. A lot of pop up and down the lineup for Ridgefield. We saw an example of it in the first. The 2-1 pitch is rolled foul. Chris Cota with his sweatshirt on. I've seen Coach Cota almost every game I've ever seen him coach, and it's quite a few now through the summers. Has a sweatshirt on. Coaching at first base, Nick Allen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tatone delivers, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the second from Tatone, and 3 straight punch-outs overall. He did yield a home run upon coming into the game to Richard Tejeda III last inning after Justin Strensky had chased Grant Clevenger with a 3-run home run. Again, it is a whopping disparity in home runs between these two clubs. 19 for Ridgefield, 6 for the Knights. The pitch to Taylor Takata, whom Grant Clevenger struck out to open the game. In there for a strike from Dominic. The 0-1 pitch from Tatone, a little bit high. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Dominic is making his 14th appearance of the summer. Only Gabe Hernandez has more. 22 2/3 coming in with 16 hits, 14 walks, 17 strikeouts, a record of 3-0. Off speed, swung on and missed. The count 1-2. Tatone with an ERA of 2.77. A record of 3-0. The left-hander out of Roseburg kicks and comes with a 1-2 pitch and misses low, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Taylor Takata. Leading things off in the ball game last inning with a strikeout. Now with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swings and grounds one wide of third to the hole at short. Backhanded by Yukamoto. The long throw to first is not in time. Taylor Takata with a 2-out single to the 6 hole. Nice try by Ty, but Taylor Takata runs well. He's aboard. 4 for 7 in stolen bases on the summer. And that'll bring to the plate Julian Nunez, who drew a walk and scored a run last inning. The first pitch from Dominic misses, ball 1. Taylor Takata heading back home. Went to Kailua High School on Oahu, attended Orange Coast College in Orange County to begin his collegiate career, but now headed back to the University of Hawaii. Good for him. Fastball from Tatone in there for a strike to Nunez. That evens the count at 1-1. Takata held on by Coulter McAnally. 4-0 Ridgefield in the second. The 1-1 pitch with Nunez squaring as if to bunt. Taken. Down and away. Ball 2, 2-1. A 4-run first. The pitch to Nunez popped up into shallow left field. Blake Wilson coming in, dealing with the sun and some wind, but handles both just fine and makes the catch. The inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. After 1.5, Ridgefield 4 and the Knights nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Live or work in one of 24 Western or Central Oregon counties, then you are entitled to membership privileges and the full financial services at Oregon State Credit Union. Join online at OregonStateCU.com or at one of their 15 branches. Oregon State Credit Union, investing in all of our communities and dedicated to creating financial solutions toward making local lives better. Kevin Takeuchi leading things off in the bottom of the second. A drive to deep left field. Back on the ball, though, goes Jack Salmon to haul it in on the warning track. Makes the catch, bangs up into the 8-foot fence, deep in the alley in left center field. In keeping with sort of how the evening has gone and how the month of July generally has gone for Ridgefield. Namely, all things working out for their good. One away, Kaysen Conserina, the batter. Takeuchi hit that ball on the screws. A .331 hitter. The team leading 3 homers, 35 runs batted in. Just missed hitting it out of the ballpark. But it's a long out. Kaysen Conserina takes a strike. 0-1 the count. 4-0 Ridgefield, bottom of the second. The right-hander Wyatt Nickel back to the plate and misses to Kaysen. 1-1 the count. Conserina starting the night at .237 with 8 runs batted in. Nickel to the plate. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 1-2 the count to Conserina. We mentioned the communities in Southwest Washington. Ridgefield is becoming the team of that area and really starting to draw well. They have a lot of fans here tonight making the journey in to support the team, sitting behind the first base dugout. Breaking ball taken, strike 3 called by Conserina. 2 down, and Luke Lavin will come to the plate. The communities of Battleground and Camas, Vancouver proper, Ridgefield. The Raptors drawing from a wide section of the community, and like so many teams in the West Coast League, becoming a tremendous success story, growing in popularity from summer to summer, and having their best year on the field. At least to win 13 in a row, you've got to be doing a lot of things well. They lead the Knights 4-0. Luke Lavin looks to bunt for a hit and bunts it foul. No balls and a strike. Nickel back to the plate. Fastball pops in and out of the mitt of Luke Iverson. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Luke Lavin. Luke has been squaring up baseballs with more consistency here in the second half of the West Coast League season. He's at .214, 12 runs batted in. Takes a good fastball from Wyatt Nickel on the inner half for a strike. 1-2 the count. We will see a lot of the fans in their own domain tomorrow at the Rourke, Ridgefield Outdoor Recreation Complex. Lavin hits a fly ball down the left field line, foul. Jack Salmon gives chase in front of the Jacoby Ellsbury clubhouse entrance on the field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Luke will come back and try it again. Coulter McAnally on deck. Cohen Gomez will get the start tomorrow for the Knights in the series finale. The Raptors intent on turning that into a rubber game tomorrow. The Knights lost their most recent rubber game to the Bend Elks and have lost 2 of their last 3 series. The trip to Ridgefield tomorrow will then lead into a pretty big slate of home games. The pitch to Luke, a pop-up into shallow center field. Deshaun Harris is right there to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Ridgefield Raptors. At the end of 2 on this breezy Wednesday night in the Mid-Valley. The Ridgefield Raptors 4 and the Knights nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
When you visit Corvallis to catch Knights baseball or whatever may bring you to our beautiful community, we encourage you to stay at your locally owned Best Western Corvallis, the official hotel partner of your Corvallis Knights, close to Goss Stadium, the largest hotel rooms in the city, and an outdoor heated pool. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. Dominic Titone, who has done a nice job for the Knights, picking up for Grant Clevenger, who seemed to be ailing a bit physically, a lower back, leg. I'm not quite sure. Something was bothering him. He yielded a 3-run home run, but even before then, something didn't seem quite right. He left early. Titone gave up a home run upon entering, but has struck out 3. He delivers to Katchke, who swings and misses. 0-2 the count to the league's leading hitter. 4-0 Ridgefield, top of the third. The strike 2 pitch to Hunter misses away, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hunter Katchke, having just a tremendous season. Swings and pulls one just foul outside of third. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll be at the Rourke tomorrow night. Yours truly with a call on 1240 Joe Radio. Patrick McCall will have the live stream on the Raptors side. The 1-2 pitch punched in the air to shallow right field. Consarina moving over. And Kaysen is there to make the catch. Titone has indeed set a good tone. He's pitched extremely well. His whole job now is just to try to keep the game close, give the Knights a chance to fight back. He gave up the home run upon entering the game to Richard Tejeda III, but has allowed just an infield single since. We're in the third, 4-0 Ridgefield. Luke Iverson takes a little bit high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Dominic from the stretch delivers down and away, ball 2, 2-0. Titone on his way to Western Oregon. Luke Iverson getting ready to continue his career at Utah Valley University. Takes the 2-0 pitch in there for a strike. A left-on-left matchup here with 1 out, nobody on in the top of the third. Ridgefield scoring 4 in the first. Dominic back to the plate. Off speed, swung on and missed. 2-2 the count. A really nice crowd. This appears to be well over 2,000 in the ballpark tonight. From the stretch, Dominic to the plate, and the breaking ball grazes Luke Iverson. Or the home plate umpire, Shane Kelly, is saying that the hitter Iverson leaned into the pitch, constituting strike 3, 2 down. Well, it certainly appeared as though Iverson made no effort. He doesn't need to make an effort, but what he can't do is lean into a pitch. Chris Cote is very upset about the call, but the strikeout will stay in the book. Strike 3 on Luke Iverson, leaning into a breaking pitch, and was starting to unstrap his protective devices and head down to first base, and instead was being rung up by Shane Kelly. 2 down, Justin Stransky, the hitter. And boy, was he ever the hitter in the first. A 3-run blast. Now, he got a little help from the wind, but didn't need it. The ball was going to leave the yard anyway. He takes a fastball away, ball 1, 1-0. Stransky with a 3-run home run off of Grant Clevenger. The third of the summer for Justin. The 1-0 pitch on the way, taken on appeal, no swing, says base umpire Terry Granillo. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Stransky. That hot start, the Ridgefield Raptors hope to kind of ride it home to getting back into the win column after a momentary stumble last night. Stransky swings and misses. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count. Justin out of Puyallup, from Lower Columbia to Fresno State. He takes away ball 3, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch is belted to left field again, on its way again and gone again. So long for Justin Stransky. 2 homers in the game for Justin. And the Ridgefield Raptors lead it 5-0. That's impressive. He got on a pitch, and he's homered now twice in 2 at-bats. Ridgefield with 3 homers on the night to get to 20. They're celebrating exuberantly in front of their dugout, as well they should, with a commanding 5-0 lead over the 7-time champion Corvallis Knights in Game 2 of the series. The Knights went to Ridgefield, and almost it had that look of, okay, here we are. You've won 13 in a row, but look out, here we come, and the Knights won handily. Got out to a big lead and kind of held on, but commanded the game. Well, it's a much different kind of feel so far. Ridgefield in complete command here in Corvallis. They've hit 3 homers. Stransky has hit 2. He has 4 on the year. And at the end of 2.5, Ridgefield 5, the Knights nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Ridgefield leading the Corvallis Knights by a score of 5-0. Coulter McAnally leading things off against Ridgefield right-hander Wyatt Nickel. The first pitch in there for a strike to Coulter. 0-1 the count. Fastball away. 1-1 to Coulter on this Wilson Motors night that has kind of subdued the crowd here so far. Big crowd, but not much to cheer for yet for the hometown Knights. The 1-1 pitch missing away, ball 2, 2-1. Coulter McAnally, Peyton Miller, and Thomas Ferraggiaro in the bottom of the 3rd. 5-0 Ridgefield. The Raptors have powered out 3 home runs to build the 5-0 lead. The 2-1 pitch taken high by Coulter. Ball 3-1. Coulter starting the evening at 286 with 13 runs batted in. Wyatt Nickel comes set, and the 3-1 pitch, fastball knee high outside corner to run the count full to 3-2. Nickel pitched around a hit batter and a walk in the first inning to post a 0 after his teammates had put up a 4 spot in the top of the inning. The 3-2 pitch, Coulter pops one foul to the right. The wind pushing the ball back towards the field of play, and the ball does land just beyond the Ridgefield dugout on the first base side. The count remains 3-2 to Coulter McAnally. 5 runs, 5 hits for Ridgefield. The Knights still looking for their first base hit here in the bottom of the third. McAnally, a 2-hopper to the shortstop, Julian Nunez. He throws out Coulter. 1 away. Peyton Miller will come to the plate. Peyton at 192 with a couple of runs batted in. Our Benton County Schools Credit Union junior announcer is Kai Mayfield tonight. Kai is doing a tremendous job in the McGrath family press box to my left, and he's also an aspiring sportscaster in his own right, a young man about to be a 9th grader. Sent me a clip of some play-by-play that he did off of a Knights live stream, and he's got the right stuff. Tremendous grasp of the game of baseball and communicating it, and really nice to hear his voice here in the ballpark tonight. The first pitch to Peyton Miller, a strike. Wyatt Nickel comes back and hits his spot again. 0-2 the count. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the third, 5-0 Ridgefield. Nickel to the plate and misses away. The count 1-2. It is heartening to know that those sorts of experiences, at least for Kai, and I hope a number of other young people, are still happening. Taking a recorder into a room or to a ball game live and doing play-by-play off of a TV set, or taking a recorder up into the stands or a ballpark to call games. That is a story that I've heard many times through the years. Kevin Young, who ended up getting to the major leagues with the Milwaukee Brewers, would go to Portland Beavers games at Civic Stadium with a recorder, call games into the recorder, submitted the tape, and got hired by Dave Hirsch, the owner of the Portland Beavers in the early 80s, and found himself in the big leagues a year later. The 2-2 pitch hit into Urchin Alley right behind us. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5-0 Ridgefield. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the third inning. Fastball fisted on the right side in the air. Second baseman Taylor Takata over to grab that. 2 away. And Thomas Ferraggiaro will be the hitter. Kai with a little bit of flair and announcing the Knights switch hitting third baseman, hit by a pitch in the first. 2 outs, nobody on. All Ridgefield early in this one. 5-0 Raptors. First pitch off speed and high. Ball 1, 1-0. After tomorrow night's ball game in Ridgefield at the Rourke, 9 of the Knights' next 10 games will be here. This is beginning the final 10 games at home for the Knights in the regular season. After this, just 9 more. Then the playoffs. The Knights will have at least 1 game in the playoffs. First pitch missing, and now the 1-0 offering is high for ball 2. Ferraggiaro twists away from the 2-0 pitch and takes up and in again. Ball 3, 3-0. By the way, in the top of the inning, still marveling over Justin Stransky's second home run, I neglected, I think, to report that Richard Tejeda III grounded out to second to end the inning. those of you watching on the live stream would see it. Those listening wonder, well, what happened? Well, Tejeda the third grounded out to Knights second baseman Peyton Miller. Now the 3-0 pitch, a strike to Ferraggiaro. 3-1 the count. Tai Yukamoto on deck. The 3-1 fastball inside. Ball 4. Ferraggiaro has been hit by a pitch. Now he draws a 2-out walk. Tai Yukamoto, who bounced into a 1-6-3 double play ball in the first inning, will come to the plate. Shortstop Julian Nunez shading Tai back up the middle. First pitch to Yukamoto is in there for a strike. Tai starting the night at .323. 4 doubles, 2 triples, 12 runs batted in, 16 stolen bases. Been an excellent summer for Tai. No balls and a strike. Ridgefield leading 5-0 here in the bottom of the third. The pitch is in the turf, backhanded by Luke Iverson. 1 ball and 1 strike. 9 of the next 10 after tomorrow night will be here for the Knights. The lone road trip in there, August 2nd in Bend. Yukamoto swings and it's 1 foul. Waldo way, Dan Siegel popping his head out to the entrance of the McGrath family press box. Observing the big crowd, also hoping that the Knights can give this big crowd something to get excited about soon. Down 5-0, bottom of the third. Yukamoto swings at the 1-2 pitch, a fly ball to right center field. Deshaun Harris moving over to grab that one. And so if this big crowd is going to have something to cheer about, they got to wait a little bit longer. Charlie Pride sang it many years ago. It's going to take a little bit longer, and so it will, it appears, tonight for the Knights. They hope to get things going. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. Through 3, Ridgefield 5, the Knights nothing. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Sean Weiss takes over pitching chores for the Corvallis Knights here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, where the Ridgefield Raptors have put on a big show through three innings. The Raptors 5 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. The Knights, no runs, no hits, and no errors. Sean Weiss has the charge that Dominic Titone had as well, which is just to to try to keep the Knights within hailing distance and hope that the bats can come around and fight their way back into this one. Sean's first pitch here in the top of the fourth inning to Jack Salmon misses for ball one. Jack struck out against Dominic Titone in the first. Titone ended up giving up 2 home runs. Justin Stransky hit a 3-run home run off of Grant Clevenger. And therein hangs the tale. 5-0 Ridgefield in the fourth. Sean Weiss misses. And he's behind the count. 2 balls and no strikes to Jack Salmon. The 2-0 pitch, a ground ball back up the middle to the left of Yukimoto. Whirls around and throws to first. Wide of Coulter McAnally. That should be a base hit for Jack Salmon. Yukimoto was shifted back up the middle, but just had too much turf to cover. Whirled around, tried to make a perfect peg off of the field turf, and threw it by McAnally. It is an infield single. 6 hits on the evening. It's been the long ball that's been the Knights' undoing. 3 home runs hit by the visitors, the Raptors, here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Kyle Mamarian at the plate. Kyle has struck out on his only at-bat. He bunts. Weiss picks it up in front of the mound, turns and throws to first to Coulter McAnally. The sacrifice works. Chris Cota showing the way, and it's a good way. Yeah, I don't know if I could go quite as lofty as the great apostle and suggest that I show unto you a more excellent way. But when I consider the Mariners' struggles and many other teams in the big leagues struggling to score runs, 0 runs, 1 run, paltry game after game, the pitch to Deson Harris showing bunt is high, ball 1. Whether it's a more excellent way or maybe another way to consider, the Mariners have got to find a way out of their offensive doldrums. And I'm not saying bunting and all, but relying on the long ball and the big free swinging, there's got to be a better way. The Mariners, there's got to be a better way to stimulate offense. Haniger hit one today, the former Corvallis Knight, but they lose 2-1. It's sad. It's sad. The Mariners have excellent pitching, a great fan base, a beautiful ballpark and community, and their futility on offense is painful to behold. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed in the count 1-2. And I say all of that just because here's a team, and the Raptors tonight, they get an infield single and a sacrifice, but they've also hit 3 home runs. They are using different ways to put pressure on the opposition and not just kind of sitting back waiting for the long ball. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. The pitch was in the turf. Luke Lavin had a little trouble locating the baseball, but does find it and throws to first to get Deson Harris on the strikeout 2-3. 2 down, Jack Salmon holding at second, and Taylor Takata the hitter. Taylor has struck out and had an infield single. We're in the fourth. Game 2 of the series between the Knights and Raptors, the finale tomorrow in Ridgefield. And it's dominated thus far tonight on Wilson Motors night. Crowd of over 2,000 it would appear on hand. Ground ball back up the middle to the left of Yukimoto. From behind the bag, Ty fields this one cleanly and throws Takata out to retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the fourth at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Ridgefield 5, the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the fourth inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 5-0 Ridgefield. Nice job, Kai. 5 runs, 6 hits. And the first pitch delivered by the right-hander Wyatt Nickel grazes Blake Wilson. Blake has walked and now been hit by a pitch. The Knights have not taken advantage yet of the largesse of the right-hander Nickel, who has been somewhat generous when it comes to the freebies. The Knights don't have a hit, but they've been hit twice. 2 walks also issued, but Nickel's been good enough to pitch through and around it. His first pitch to Brandon Cabrera, knee high for a strike. 0-1 to the Knights center fielder, who flied to his opposite number, Deshaun Harris, in the first inning. Wyatt Nickel and Luke Iverson, the battery for the Raptors, setting the standard for the rest of the 16-team league in this second half at 13-1 starting tonight. Fastball misses and the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Cabrera. 5-0 Ridgefield, bottom of the fourth. Nickel from the stretch with the left fielder Jack Salmon really fighting the sun. He's going to get a ball on the turf hit in front of him through the 6 hole from Blake Wilson. A base hit from Brandon Cabrera with Blake Wilson stopping at second. The Knights with an opportunity now to make a little bit of a move back into the game. A hit batter, a base hit. First and second, nobody out. Kevin Takeuchi, who lined out to left field in the second, will be the hitter. It is a tough sun field for Jack Salmon out there now. When Wyatt Nickel, I should say, was coming plateward, Jack was shielding the sun with his gloved hand. He's in the same posture now, with Takeuchi stepping in. Looks at a breaking ball strike. 0-1 the count. 4 runs in the first, a couple of home runs for Ridgefield, another homer in the third. The Raptors lead it 5-0. The Knights now looking to at least crack that goose egg on the board, fight their way back into this one. 2 on, nobody out. The strike 1 pitch is outside. For replacement glass or new vinyl windows in your home, call Smith Glass. Located in Corvallis and Albany, Smith Glass is a leading residential and commercial glass service for the Mid-Valley and longtime partner of the Corvallis Knights. Smith Glass, on the cutting edge since 1945. The 1-1 breaking ball misses from Wyatt Nickel. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blake Wilson at second, Brandon Cabrera at first. Kaysen Consorina, the on-deck hitter. 2-1 to Kevin Takeuchi. Line drive, base hit into left field. Blake Wilson rounding third and will score. Cabrera stops at second. Jack Salmon gets the ball back in. The Knights are on the board, and it's Mr. RBI himself, Kevin Takeuchi, coming through again. A run-scoring single. Now Ridgefield 5 and the Knights 1. Kaysen Consorina will come to the plate, the 36th run batted in of the summer. And now we'll see a visit for the first time tonight. It appears as though Derek Mettler, the pitching coordinator, is on his way out for a visit with Wyatt Nickel. The Knights with a hit batter, back-to-back base hits on the board, trailing 5-1. A very quick conversation here has taken place. And that will bring to the plate Kaysen Consorina, who struck out looking in the second inning. One of the cooler nights we've had in a while. At the outset of the night season, we deal with a little bit of precipitation and certainly some cool evenings where we've got blankets and extra layers. It's one of those kind of reverting to that kind of form. I'm looking now, I say that, and I'm looking around and seeing a lot of fans putting extra stuff on right now as the breezes have picked up and the temperatures drop. Consarini, bunt up along third. Kaysen's going to get himself a base hit. The throw to first bounces off the face of the first baseman, Richard Tejeda III. In to score is Brandon Cabrera. Everybody's safe on the bunt single for Kaysen Consarini. And the throw to first from the pitcher, Nickel, hit, or the third baseman, Marion, went through the mitt of the first baseman, Tejeda III, and into the face of the first sacker. Chris Cota, the head coach who had made the visit, not the pitching coach, comes out of his dugout to see about Tejeda III's condition. And Ed Nags also looking on at Richard. The throw seemed to get through the mitt of Richard and directly into his face, right around it looks like the nose, maybe the left cheek area, just below the eyelid. And we'll see now. I think he's going to come out of the game, certainly for precautionary reasons. Scary moment. The Knights have pulled to within 5-2 and have runners at first and third and nobody out. It's going to be a bunt single and probably an error, whether on the throw by Kyle Mamarian or the ball being dropped at first by Tejeda III. But we don't see an error yet on the board. What we do see is Coach Cota getting ready to bring a new first baseman in, and let's hope Richard Tejeda III is going to be all right in the long run. The young man out of USC, an outstanding, talented player, was struck by the ball that appeared to hit his glove. Thank heaven for that. That slowed it down enough, lest it really would have created some serious damage. But we'll see a change at first base. And we're going to have to wait on the official announcement because the roster that we have, well, it shows Richard Tejeda. Is he going to stay in? I thought a move was being made. But Richard Tejeda III is still in there. He went to get some help within the dugout. I thought he was leaving the game. Well, good for him. That's good news. I'm going to have to consult with Brooks Hatch as to how he scored that play, because Cabrera came in to score to make it 5-2 with a loose ball, so to speak, after the ball went through the mitt of Richard Tejeda III. But no error has been put on the board. It's hard for me to imagine that could be construed as a bunt single scoring Cabrera from second, but we'll see. Kevin Takeuchi at third, Kaysen Consarini at first. The first pitch to Luke Lavin misses. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed by Luke. The count 1-1. Luke flied to center field in the second. We're in the bottom of the fourth, first and third, nobody out. The Knights have scored twice, drawing a little closer. Lavin fouls one Waldo away to the left and out of play. 1-2 the count. But an important run represented at third right here by Kevin Takeuchi. The Knights can make serious inroads by getting that third run home. Takeuchi at third, Consarini at first. An error has been put on the board for Ridgefield. Lavin takes just outside, ball 2, 2-2. Steve Kimmel and his granddaughter Adeline walking up the steps in front of the McGrath family press box. They've gotten some ice cream down below, and there must have been a long line for it because they've been gone a long time. Good to have them back. First and third, nobody out. The 2-2 pitch, Luke fights it off, fouls it again, Waldo away and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Coulter McAnally on deck. The Knights have shown some life here in the inning. A hit batter, 3 straight hits, an error, and they've scored twice. First and third, nobody out. Nickel to Luke Lavin, who swings and misses. The bat goes flying out of his hands and above the Raptors dugout. Strike 3. Luke goes down, and Coulter McAnally will be the hitter. Coach Nags retrieves Luke's bat for him. Lavin losing the grip and the battle to Wyatt Nickel. Big strikeout now, the double play in order. McAnally hoping to get the ball at least lifted to get the run home. Coulter grounded to short in his first at-bat. 5-2 Ridgefield, bottom of the fourth. And a big run, again, represented by Takeuchi 90 feet away. First pitch just misses to Coulter. Ball one, 1-0. Shane Kelly, the home plate arbiter. Terry Granillo, the base umpire. Ridgefield 4 in the first, 1 in the third. The Knights have plated 2 here in the bottom of the fourth and have runners at first and third and 1 out. The 1-0 pitch is high. Ball 2, 2-0. Peyton Miller on deck. There is activity in the bullpen back of Wyatt. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. A right-hander playing a game of catch and does appear to be ready in case Coach Cota would want to make a move. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch, down and away. Ball 3, 3-1. Takeuchi getting his lead from third. Kaysen Consarina from first. The 3-1 pitch is down and away to load him up. Peyton Miller, the hitter. Bases loaded and 1 out. The Knights staying on the comeback trail, looking for the big knock now, the big base hit to perhaps get within a run. Peyton popped out to second in the third inning. A little surprised to see a bumblebee land right in front of me here. It seems cool, too cool for one thing, and a little late in the day for a bumblebee to be bumbling around our broadcast site. He did fly off. That will be the end of the outing for Wyatt Nickel. We will see Coach Cota go to the bullpen and make a pitching change. Well, the Knights trying to make a big move here in the bottom of the fourth. They were down 5-0 when the inning began. Now 5-2 with the bases loaded and 1 out. A new pitcher coming in. We will take a 2-minute pitching change break and be back with more after this on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. The bases are loaded for the Corvallis Knights in the bottom of the fourth inning. Right-hander Camden Orem. Camden competing for the great Dan Spencer at Linfield. Delivers to Peyton Miller, who whacks it into left field. Base hit. 1 run will score, and then Brooke Knight puts the stop sign up for Kaysen Consarinha. But Kevin Takeuchi in to score. It's now Ridgefield 5 and the Knights 3. Peyton Miller with a rude greeting to Camden Orem. The Knights, who did not have a hit coming into the inning, now have 4. They've scored 3 runs. The bases remain loaded, and Thomas Ferraggiaro, the hitter. Kaysen Consarinha at third, Coulter McAnally to second, Peyton Miller an RBI single to left. 5-3 Ridgefield. Bases loaded, 1 out for Thomas Ferraggiaro. Thomas takes low and in from Camden. Ball 1, 1-0. Camden Orem from Lower Columbia Community College to Linfield, the pride of Tumwater High School. Competing for Spence in McMinnville, delivers a breaking ball down and in. Ball 2, 2-0. Bases full, 1 out. The infield at double play depth. Thomas has been hit by a pitch and walked. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, in the count 2-1. Brooke, I think, thought the pitch might have missed and is letting that opinion be known to home plate umpire Shane Kelly. And now time called. Luke Iverson will head out to the mound for a conversation with Camden Orem. Brooke Knight pulls out his notepad and is jotting something down. I really have enjoyed watching Brooke at work through all of these summers. He has a good memory, a sharp memory, but he also knows that it's difficult to account for all things during the course of a game that he'll want to talk to his players about afterwards. So that notepad is coming out throughout ball games, just as a reminder of things he wants to check in with his guys on either immediately after the game tonight or before the game tomorrow. The 2-1 change from Orem, swung on and fouled at the plate. 2-2 the count. Camden Orem has pitched very well, making his 6th appearance, 9 1/3 innings this summer for Ridgefield. 6 hits, a run, a walk, 9 strikeouts, a record of 1-0 and an ERA of 0.96. The 2-2 pitch, a fly ball into shallow left. The infield fly rule is invoked. Julian Nunez goes back to make the catch. 2 down. And the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning, Tai Yukamoto, with an opportunity to get the Knights even with a base hit. Kaysen Consarinha at third, Coulter McAnally at second, Peyton Miller at first. 5-3 Ridgefield. Camden to the plate, breaking ball, swung on and missed. Orem 6'3", 195. Picking up for Wyatt Nickel. The Raptors led 5-0 going into this bottom of the fourth. The Knights have drawn closer. But if Orem slams the door, it certainly does keep the momentum in the Ridgefield Raptors camp. The strike 1 pitch missing high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to tie. The 9th man to come to the plate in the inning. Yukamoto has grounded into a double play and flied to center thus far. Bases loaded, 2 down. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball lifted foul into the upper grandstand. A nice catch by a fan on this Wilson Motors night. Looks like a dad or an uncle makes the catch and turns and hands it to a youngster here at the ballpark, part of this big crowd on Wilson Motors night. Consarinha at third, McAnally at second, Miller at first, 2 down. 5-3 Ridgefield in the fourth. Orem to the plate, off speed, roped into right field. Base hit. Yukamoto gets the Knights even, coming in with the tying run, and on the solid base hit to right from Yukamoto. is Coulter McAnally. Kaysen Conserina scoring, but then trying to go to third base on the play. Peyton Miller gets thrown out. Good job by Hunter Katschke. But the Knights rally for 5 runs to tie, and will start over. Tai Yukamoto, the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning, a 2-run single. Miller thrown out, trying to go to third. But the Knights do pull even on the 2-run single by Tai Yukamoto. And on this Wilson Motors night, we will have a little bit of a break in the action with a beautiful pickup from Wilson Motors, now out in the field, driven onto the field behind second base. And there will be a contest that will go on here now, presented by Wilson Motors on Wilson Motors night. The Knights turning the night around with a 5-run bottom of the 4th, culminated on the 2-out, 2-run single by Tai Yukamoto to pull the Knights even. We'll take a 2-minute break here with the on-field festivities going on. The Knights score 5 to tie. We go to the 5th. After 4, Ridgefield 5, the Knights 5. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Hey Corvallis Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
It is indeed a brand new ball game between the Knights and the Ridgefield Raptors. Ridgefield taking command early and led at the end of 1, 4-0. But now we go to the top of the 5th, the 5-5 tie. The Knights with 5 runs and 6 hits in the bottom of the 4th inning. The final out made at third, which is unfortunate because the Knights would have had Blake Wilson up with runners at first and second and a chance to perhaps gain the lead. But as it is, Sean Weiss with a fresh start thanks to the exploits of his teammates and Sean himself now trying to keep the Knights very much in the fight. Goes to work on Julian Nunez. Swung out and missed on the first pitch. A 5-5 tie in the 5th. The 0-1 pitch hit high in the air to shallow right. Conserina started back. Now locates the ball and moves in to make the catch. One away. A decidedly different feel altogether here. Russ Peterson coming up in the tradition, as he used to with Casey and Amy whenever Sean was in ball games late. Coming up to sit now by Gary Weiss right below our vantage point. I hear that Casey and Amy are coming up here maybe by next weekend. I hope so. It'll be great to see you all again. Hunter Katschke, the batter. The first pitch to Hunter. Fastball for a strike, 0-1 the count. 5-5, top of the 5th inning. Katschke has twice flied to Conserina in right field. Sean from the stretch with nobody on. The lefty back to the plate. Misses in the turf 1-1 the count. Five runs, 6 hits for the Knights. Fastball popped up on the right side. First baseman Coulter McAnally moves in and under to make the catch. Sean Weiss with 2 quick outs here in the top of the 5th, and Luke Iverson will be the hitter. Five runs, 6 hits for Ridgefield. The scoreboard shows 5 runs, 4 hits for the Knights. I think there should be one more hit from last inning. But anyway, these are matters of great moment that are far above my pay grade. The first pitch missing for ball 1. 1-0 to Luke Iverson, who has had an infield single and struck out. Sean back to the plate with a 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. Sean in his 4th summer with the Corvallis Knights and a huge part of the last 3 of the 7 consecutive West Coast League championships. Sean from the stretch delivers, fastball in there, strike 2. 1-2 the count, a master of changing speeds and location. One of those guys who knows how to pitch. Been a pleasure to watch him now these last 4 summers. The left-hander with a count of 1-2 and 2 down, delivers, swung on and missed. Strike 3. The inning is over, and it feels as though the game has changed dramatically. It has. The Knights with 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th, and Sean Weiss underscores that by a 1-2-3 inning in the following frame. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 5th on Wilson Motors night. Ridgefield 5 and the Knights 5. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Material handling keeps you moving. One step closer to home with Pape Material Handling. The Knights and Pape once again have teamed up in support of Community Outreach, Inc., a local nonprofit dedicated to helping people lead healthy and productive lives. For every Knights stolen base, there haven't been any yet tonight, but for every Knights stolen base, both the Knights and Pape Material Handling donate $15 to Community Outreach, Inc. Teamwork, process, impact, and opportunity, creating transformative pathways to life. First pitch breaking ball to Blake Wilson, a called strike. The 0-1 pitch, the operative word called. The 0-1 pitch is swung out and missed, and the count to Blake quickly 0-2. 5-5, bottom of the 5th. Camden Orem, no relation to the fine columnist. The strike 2 pitch, breaking ball, punched foul in the air off first. This will carry into the stands. The count remains 0-2 to Blake. Blake Wilson, Brandon Cabrera, and Kevin Takeuchi in the bottom of the fifth of a 5-5 tie. Blake has walked and been hit by a pitch. He was hit by a pitch to open last inning. That opened the door to a 5-run frame to pull the Knights even. He takes up and in, ball 2, 2-2. Oh, 1-2, pardon me, to Blake. Camden Orem giving up the 2-run, 2-out single to Yukamoto to get the Knights even. Yukamoto, a ground ball to third. The ball stays down. Mamarian goes down to get it to throw out Blake, one away. Brandon Cabrera, the hitter. That ball appeared as though it would bound up. Mamarian did a nice job to adjust on a ground ball that stayed down to get Wilson. Brandon Cabrera to the plate. Brandon has flied to center and had an infield single. Orem kicks, delivers, cued, slowly foul. Towards the on-deck area of the Ridgefield Raptors. No balls and a strike to Brandon Cabrera. The right-hander back to the plate. The strike one pitch just misses. 1 ball and 1 strike from Camden. Orem delivers a strike and the count 1-2, seeing that Camden is from Tumwater. We are about a month out from hearing from Tumwater, the Oracle of Tumwater, Dave from Tumwater again. I visited with my good friend and broadcast partner John Warren today. The Joe Beaver Show will return on the local airwaves in about a month. The 1-2 pitch swung out and missed. Strike 3. Cabrera goes down, 2 down. Kevin Takeuchi will come to the plate. I've begun to see the college football preseason magazines coming out. I actually did get one today. Just a shock to the system to go into our local store and see Big Ten magazines. And all these years, for so many years as a fan, buying the Pac-10, Pac-12 magazines through the years, Athlons, Lindy's, Sporting News, etc. None to be found. They didn't make a magazine for 2 schools. The 1-0 pitch to Kevin Takeuchi, a strike, and the count 1-1. 2 down, nobody on, a 5-5 tie in the bottom of the fifth. Orem delivers. Takeuchi swings and misses. 1-2 to Kevin, who has lined out and lined home a run last inning, driving in the Knights' first run to get the comeback going. The 1-2 pitch from Orem is swung on and missed. Camden working quickly and confidently retires the Knights in order. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the frame. We go to the 6th. Ridgefield 5 and the Knights 5 on the Knights live stream back in 90 on Joe Radio.
We want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, your one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Justin Home Run Stransky will lead things off for Ridgefield in the 6th, the 5-5 tie. Justin takes Sean Weiss's first pitch in the turf, retrieved by Cole Stringer in front of the Knights dugout on the third base side. Stransky a 3-run homer in the first, a solo shot in the third. 5-5 Raptors and Knights here in the sixth. The 1-0 pitch, a big swing again by Justin. He hits this one foul back of the plate, heading towards the stairwell by the McGrath family press box. I could hear the ball thudding, and it lands off of the stairwell and down into the concourse, so it appeared. 1 ball and 1 strike to Stransky. 5-5, top of the sixth inning. Sean back to the plate. Stransky, another drive to deep left field. Wilson goes back, has a play on the warning track, and makes the catch. Stransky, for a moment, I thought was going Dave Kingman on all of us, which could have led Paul Olden or somebody to ask Brooke after the game, what was your opinion of Stransky's performance? Now, if any of you have not heard, I hope most of you have. You can find that on YouTube, I think, or just about anywhere. Tommy Lasorda on Kingman's performance. Richard Tejeda III, a line drive down the right field line in the corner, a fair ball. Kaysen Concerina chasing the ball down. Tejeda III gets to second and will hold there. Good piece of hitting by Richard. An opposite field double into the right field corner. And the Raptors have the go-ahead run on in scoring position with 1 out. Jack Salmon coming to the plate. It is one of the more entertaining pieces of audio. Now, if profanity and the use of a certain word is offensive and troublesome to you, then there's also edited versions of it you can hear. But a report, Kingman hits 3 home runs in a 1979 game. Bob Gilder's in the ballpark tonight. How about that? Bob Gilder here. I think Mike Riley might be here too. First pitch, check swing, foul. I haven't seen Bob Gilder for a long time, but Bob Gilder walking up the stairs over there. Great to see Bob. Kate Riley is in the house. I don't know if her dad Mike is here. He lost a wonderful person. We lost Dee a few weeks back. Good to see Kate and her family out at the ballpark tonight. Line drive base hit to right field. Concerina moves over to make the play. And because the ball was hit so hard, the runner, Tejeda, has to stop at third. For one thing, he had to make sure that Salmon's line drive cleared Peyton Miller. Concerina with a good arm got to the ball in a hurry. But a genuine threat is on here. Runners at the corners and 1 out in the top of the sixth of a 5-5 tie. Brooke Knight is on his way out to the mound, and whether he's got a move in him, I don't know. I just saw a couple of guys head down towards the Corvallis Knights bullpen, or whether this is more of a strategic talk now with Sean, whom he has relied upon so often in so many different kinds of situations through these last 4 summers with the Knights. I think it is more of the latter. I don't think he's going to make a change here as much as talk about pitch location, maybe even pitch selection now, with Kyle Mamarian, the batter, in a 5-5 tie in the sixth. But the game getting very serious all of a sudden, enough to divert the meditation on Kingman's performance from '79. But Stransky flying deep to left, hit the ball well, and we've seen the next 2 hitters do the same. A double to right for Tejeda III, a line drive, a bullet off the bat of Jack Salmon, sending Tejeda III to third. Runners at the corners and 1 out for Kyle Mamarian. Brooke Knight back into the dugout. Showing bunt, Mamarian pulls back, hits a ground ball to short. Yukamoto steps on second for 1, on to first, double play. The inning is over, and Brooke Knight probably just said, hey, do this. Throw a double play ball, and all is well. That's great coaching and tremendous execution by the Knights. A big threat after Stransky nearly went Kingman. Meditating on Kingman's performance, look it up and enjoy Lasorda's rhetoric. It was enjoyable to watch Weiss and the Knights get out of it. A 6-3 double play to end the inning at the end of 5.5. Ridgefield 5, the Knights 5, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Kaysen Conserina will lead things off for the Corvallis Knights in the bottom of the 6th inning of a 5-5 tie. Camden Orem starts Kaysen with a breaking ball strike. Orem looked really good last inning. He struck out the last 2 batters that he faced in retiring the Knights in order. Camden to the plate and misses down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kaysen, who has struck out and had a bunt single. Breaking ball misses. Now 5 hits have been put up on the board for the Knights from last inning, so that was amended. 5 runs, 8 hits for Ridgefield. 5 runs, 5 hits for the Knights. The 2-1 pitch to Kaysen. Breaking ball for a strike, and that evens the count at 2-2. Kaysen Conserina, Luke Lavin, and Coulter McAnally. Bottom of the 6th, the 5-5 tie. Orem to the plate. Breaking ball, a check swing. No, he didn't go. The appeal, no swing, says Terry Granillo. And the count goes full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. And now Terry Granillo is making Luke Lavin move several steps over. So strange how some umpires enforce that. Most don't, some do. Lavin getting a little too far away from the on-deck area. The 3-2 pitch to Kaysen hits Kaysen. And the Knights get the go-ahead run on base in the form of a free pass, a hit batter, to open the bottom of the 6th inning. Luke Lavin, the hitter. Luke has flied to center and struck out. Brooke Knight going through the signs in the third base box. Brooke is often of a mind to have even powerful hitters like Luke lay down a bunt in this situation. We'll see what he has in mind. Luke's not bunting, takes inside, ball 1, 1-0. The Knights have not led in the ball game. In fact, they were down 4-0 going to the bottom of the 1st inning. But now have the leadoff man on base. Lavin a big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Conserina, the runner at first base, held on by Richard Tejeda III, 10 for 14 in stolen bases. Brooke asks for time and calls Luke Lavin over for a little meeting. Whatever Brooke had to say to Sean Weiss and company defensively in the top of the inning seemed to be pretty good counsel. The next pitch was an inning-ending 6-3 double play ball. We'll see if the magic word has been spoken again here by Brooke to Luke Lavin. 5-5, bottom of the 6th. The 1-1 pitch, Lavin drives it to deep center field. Back goes Harris to the warning track and makes the catch. And had the ball left the yard, then it certainly would have been another example of great coaching. Son, just, take the next pitch and hit it out of the ballpark. And Lavin nearly complied. Now, that was one of those situations. I'm a little surprised Kaysen didn't go back to first when he saw that Deshaun Harris had the ball well in his sights. I think Kaysen, he could have, without doubt, tagged up and gone from first to second. Now he goes. The pitch to McAnally is outside. The throw to second is not in time. Conserina takes matters into his own legs and gets the stolen base. I have a feeling he could have tagged. There wasn't any question that the ball was going to stay in the yard and that Deshaun Harris was going to catch it. And that could have provoked Kaysen to go back, tag, and get to second. Well, on the very next pitch, he's into second anyway. The effect is the same. Meanwhile, a 1-0 pitch to McAnally, hit to left center field. Deshaun Harris moving over. Deshaun calls, makes the catch. Conserina will tag and go to third. 2 down in the inning. Lavin with the deep fly to center for out number 1. McAnally flies to Harris for the second out. Conserina, after the stolen base, picks up 90 feet. He's the go-ahead run. Peyton Miller, the batter. Peyton an RBI single in the 4th. 5-5, bottom of the 6th. Four putouts on the evening for Deshaun Harris. 5 make it. 5 putouts on the evening for Harris. He's been busy patrolling center field to his left, to his right, and going straight back. The first pitch, a strike to Peyton, 0-1 the count. 5-5, bottom of the 6th inning. Kason Consarini at third with 2 down. Camden Orem will work out of the windup, come to the plate. Breaking ball lined into right center field, base hit. Consarini scores. Peyton Miller drives in another run. The Knights have their first lead at 6-5. That'll bring Thomas Ferragaro to the plate. Tremendous execution by the Corvallis Knights. A hit batter, a stolen base, a couple of deep fly balls, and then the base hit by Miller. Peyton is 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. 6-5 Knights. Thomas Ferragaro takes a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count. The Knights playing with the lead for the first time tonight. Camden Orem again from the stretch and comes to the plate. Swung on and fouled at the plate by Ferragaro. 0-2 the count. Clutch hitting out of the 9 hole by Peyton Miller tonight. Peyton has not done much running on the summer, just 1 stolen base. He's held on by Tejeda III. 6-5 Knights, bottom of the 6th. Fastball to Ferragaro with Peyton Miller going on a hit and run. Fouled straight back. 1-2 the count. I've been coming to Knights games since the Knights arrived in 07, involved in the broadcast most of the seasons, not all of them. There have been a few that I wasn't involved, but it's the first time I've ever seen the great Bob Gilder in a ball game here, at least that I've noticed. He may have been to others, but I saw him walking through the Jack Riley concourse an inning or so ago. Wonderful to see a legendary figure here in our community at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The pitch is pulled sharply into shallow right. Nice play by Takata to his left to go get the baseball and throw out Ferragaro. Good play on Taylor's part. But a good inning for the Knights. They take their first lead, taking advantage of a leadoff hit batter. A run on a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the 7th, the Knights 6 and Ridgefield 5 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community. Knights fans, looking for an amazing deal? Come down to Wilson Motors. Visit us today and get free tickets to Wilson Motors Night with the Corvallis Knights on July 24th. It's a night you won't want to miss. Exciting baseball, great company, and fantastic giveaways. While you're here, check out our wide variety of vehicles. From sleek sedans to rugged trucks, we've got something for everyone. Wilson Motors, the one-stop shop for unbeatable deals and unforgettable nights. Hurry in and score your tickets today at Wilson Motors on
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Corvallis Knights, 6 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. Ridgefield, 5 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Sean Weiss pitching with the lead at 6-5, delivers to Desan Harris low for ball 1, 1-0. I refreshed my memory on Bob Gilder. 6 PGA Tour wins and 10 wins on the Champions Tour, from which he's been retired since 2011. The 1-0 pitch missing for ball 2, 2-0 to Desan. Harris has struck out twice. Taylor Takata on deck, Julian Nunez to follow. 6-5 Knights, bottom of the sixth. The game the Knights once trailed 5-0. Sean's 2-0 fastball hits the outside corner for a strike, and the count 2-1. Grant Clevenger started, not able to get out of the first inning. Some sort of physical issue, it seemed, for Grant. The 2-1 pitch, Harris a fly ball to left center field. Blake Wilson moving over to his left, comes together with Brandon Cabrera. Blake stays with it to make the catch. One away, and Taylor Takata, the leadoff hitter, will come to the plate. Taylor has struck out, had an infield single, and grounded to short. It'll be Andrew Grennert batting here for the Ridgefield Raptors. Andrew Grennert pinch hitting. I don't know if it's pinch hitting or whether he came on defensively. Grennert takes a strike. 0-1 the count. We're in the top of the seventh inning. Left-handed hitter Grennert awaits the strike one pitch from Sean Weiss and takes a fastball that just missed, and the count 1-1. Grennert out of Loyola awaits the 1-1 pitch from Sean Weiss, and Sean hits the outside corner for a strike. 1-2 the count. 6-5 Knights, top of the seventh inning. Grennert from Loyola Marymount. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, pop foul, back of the plate. This should be in play. Coming back, fighting in front of the screen to stay with the baseball. Luke Lavin does and makes the catch. Excellent play, 2 down. Tremendous job by Luke to locate the ball. The wind pushing everything back towards the field of play. The ball was not hit very high in the air, and Luke kind of had to circle it at the last moment and slide into the catch. He does so impressively. 2 down, nobody on. First pitch hit slowly back of second, fielded by Peyton Miller. Miller throws out Nunez, and Sean Weiss retires the side in order as the winds pick up dramatically. It's the first 1-2-3 inning for the Knights tonight. And we go to the bottom of the seventh. This big crowd will rise to its feet for the seventh inning stretch. At the end of 6.5, the Knights 6 and Ridgefield 5 on the Knights live stream back in 90 on Joe Radio. Bottom of the seventh inning before an attendance tonight, a crowd of 2,469. Big crowd on Wilson Motors night, 2,469. A little subdued through the first few innings with Ridgefield building a 5-0 lead. But the crowd thoroughly engaged with the Knights' 5-run fourth and taking the lead in the sixth. Tai Yukamoto takes low and inside from Orem. Now bunts in front of the mound. The ball didn't take the right kind of hop that Orem was expecting the ball to come up. It didn't. He had to bend down kind of suddenly and did so just in time to get Yukamoto. Ty had singled home 2 runs to pull the Knights even in the fourth. Tries to bunt for a hit here and is thrown out on a good play by Orem, particularly just adjusting to the unexpected non-hop. Here's Blake Wilson looking to bunt for a hit, and he bunts up along third, foul. No balls and 1 strike. Blake has walked, been hit by a pitch and scored, and grounded to third. 6-5 Knights, bottom of the 7th inning, winning last night in Ridgefield, building a big lead and then holding on to win 7-5. Tonight, rallying from down 5-0, now leading 6-5. The series finale tomorrow at the Rourke. Yours truly with the call at 6:30. Blake Wilson takes a strike, 1-1 the count, 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 7th. The 1-1 pitch down and away, ball 2, 2-1. Camden Orem to the plate, misses away, ball 3, 3-1. Wyatt Nickel and Camden Orem for Ridgefield. The Knights have used Grant Clevenger, Dominic Tatone, and Sean Weiss. Bottom of the 7th, a 1-run lead for the Knights. The pitch to Wilson, lifted to shallow left center field. The left fielder, Jack Salmon, amid a trio of Raptors, makes the catch. 2 down, and Brandon Cabrera will be the hitter. Brandon has flied to center, had an infield single, and struck out. The first pitch to Cabrera misses down and away, ball 1. Seeing Deshaun Harris with his 5 putouts in center, getting me to think about the all-time putouts leader in Major League history, the great for an outfielder, the great Willie Mays. And the passing of Willie at the age of 93, there have been a number of documentaries that have emerged kind of from the archives, including one, the 1-1 pitch missing down and into Cabrera, ball 2, 2-1. You could look it up. It's come across my feed somehow. Chris Schenkel hosting on ABC, sort of the life of Willie Mays, chronicling Willie and the Giants in the 1966 season. Really well done. Made in 67, but it's an account of Willie's last big year in Major League Baseball, 1966. The 3-1 pitch. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you. Sylvia Weiss taking care of me. Thank you. Bringing up a beverage here late. The 3-1 pitch, tap foul at the plate. 3-2 the count. Willie's last big year in baseball was 1966. Now, he played on through 73. He had a pretty good year in 70. I should take that back. He hit .291 with 28 homers in 70. The 3-2 pitch, a ground ball to short at Julian Nunez. He looks it in and throws to first in time. When Cabrera hustling made it close. 288, 37 homers in 66. Struggled the next 2 years, but then came back kind of a renaissance year in 70 with his .291 and 28. But it's interesting. You could look it up. YouTube, ABC, Chris Schenkel. Something about a year in the life of Willie Mays. Really well done for the best 5-tool player the game has ever seen. The Knights go in order in the 7th. To the 8th we go. The Knights 6 and the Raptors 5 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Top of the 8th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, 6-5 night. Sean Weiss's first pitch to Hunter Kashke misses low and inside. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Hunter, swung on and missed, in the count 1-1. Sean retired the Raptors in order in the 7th. Kashke, Luke Iverson, and Justin Stransky in the 8th of a one-run affair. Right fielder Kaysen Conserina very deep in right. One of the deepest deployments, in fact, the entire outfield deep for the powerful Kashke, who swings and doesn't get it. 5 home runs on the season for Hunter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Raptors have hit 3 home runs tonight. Had a 5-0 lead. Now trail 6-5 in the 8th. The 1-2 pitch to Kashke, a ground ball to the left of Yukamoto. Ty Bobbles picks it up and has no play. Yukamoto has been superb defensively. I think he'll be charged with an error here, and he will be. Had he fielded cleanly, and it looked as though he was putting himself in range to do just that, he would have been in position to throw out Hunter. But commits the error, and we'll see if Ridgefield can take advantage of that. Kashke can run a bit. He's 7 for 9 in stolen bases. The batter is Luke Iverson. The tying run at first, nobody out to open matters in the 8th on this cool night in the Mid-Valley. Iverson bunts and bunts foul towards the Knights on deck area. No balls and a strike. Luke, an infield single and a run scored in the first, has since struck out in his last 2 appearances. No balls and 1 strike the count. Weiss to the plate, swung on and missed. And the count 0-2. Six-5 Knights, top of the 8th inning. The strike, the 1-2 pitch, I should say, 0-2 pitch pulled foul outside of first. No balls and 2 strikes, 6-5 Knights. The wind's really whipping up, 16 to 20 miles per hour tonight. That's added to the sense of the coolness here in the ballpark. Sean out of the stretch with a strike 2 pitch coming. Hunter Kashke gets his lead. The strike 2 pitch, a ground ball to second. Peyton Miller goes to Yukamoto for 1, on to first, not in time. Nice play, though, on both the infielders' part. Miller getting the ball to his left and giving himself a chance to turn the double play. Iverson just does avert it. Brooke Knight is coming out, I think, either to make a pitching change, or I didn't know if he was coming out to take up an issue with the base umpire, Terry Granillo. But he's going to take Sean Weiss out here and make a move. Tremendous job by Sean Weiss. The best outing that he's had with the Corvallis Knights since making his return here a couple of weeks ago. He gets a big ovation from this appreciative crowd of 2,469 on Wilson Motors night. We've got a new pitcher coming in, 6-5 Knights in the 8th with Luke Iverson at first and 1 out. We'll take a 2-minute pitching change break. The Knights eradicating a 5-0 lead at 6-5 here in the 8th, back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Never sure I've understood weather apps that say, right now it says 66 degrees, feels like 66 degrees. I would beg to differ. It says 66 degrees and feels more like 46 right about now, the way the wind is blowing. Gabe Hernandez checks in against Justin Stransky. Stransky has a 3-run homer, a solo homer, and his fly to the warning track and left. Been a big night. What do I think of Stransky's performance? It's been pretty darn good. Stransky fouls the first pitch at the plate, 0-1 the count. Variation on a theme by Tommy. The strike one pitch, swung on and tapped foul in front of the Knights dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. Top of the 8th, 6-5 Knights. The tying run at first. Hunter Katchke aboard on an error. Now Gabe Hernandez into the game, trying to preserve this 1-run advantage, making his 16th appearance, the most on the Knights staff this summer. Gabe set, the strike 2 pitch. Breaking ball just missed. Just missed hitting Stransky as well. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top of the 8th. The teams will wrap up the series tomorrow night in Ridgefield, 6:30 here on Joe Radio. A throw to first base and diving back, Luke Iverson. Iverson, a good runner. He averted the double play ball, 10 for 12 in stolen bases. Hernandez to the plate. Fastball high and inside, ball 2. 2-2. Gabe in 26 and a third innings, 23 hits, 8 walks, 20 strikeouts, a record of 3-1 with a save, an ERA of 3.07. 6-5 Knights in the 8th, 1 out, the tying run aboard. Hernandez delivers, breaking ball, grounder to Yukamoto. He goes to Miller for 1, on to first, double play, and the inning is over. Beautifully turned 6-4-3 double play ball. Great job by the Keystone combination, and Peyton Miller right in the middle of that double play ball with the assist over to first to complete the twin killing. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Knights 6 and Ridgefield 5, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 8th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights leading 6-5. Ridgefield calls upon Tito Santos out of Texas A&M Corpus Christi to try to give Ridgefield the best shot at scoring a run to force extra innings, or perhaps doing more to take the lead back. Ridgefield controlled much of this ballgame. They led early 5-0. 3 runs in the first on a 3-run home run by Justin Stransky. The Knights with a big 4th inning to tie at 5, and then scratch for a run to take the lead in the 6th. Bottom of the 8th, Santos has completed his warm-up tosses with Luke Iverson, prepared to make his 10th appearance of the summer for the Raptors. 19 2/3 innings, 20 hits, 6 walks, 12 strikeouts, a record of 2-3 with a save and an earned run average of 4.11. Kevin Takeuchi will lead things off for the Knights, leading 6-5, and the first pitch from Tito misses high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Santos, the third pitcher of the evening for Ridgefield. Fastball swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. Kevin has lined out, had an RBI single, and struck out. The 1-1 pitch hits Kevin Takeuchi. The Knights used a hit batter, Kaysen Consorina, in the 6th to take the lead. That's the 4th hit batsman allowed by Ridgefield pitching tonight. Kaysen Consorina hit by a pitch and scored the go-ahead run in the 6th. Had a bunt single and scored a run in the 4th. Struck out on his first at-bat and is probably up there to bunt here. 6-5 Knights. Luke Lavin on deck. Kaysen is bunting, pulls the bat back, and takes down and away ball 1, 1-0. Coach Knight goes through the signs again in the third base box. Well, covetous of an insurance run to take with the club onto the field in the top of the 9th inning. Takeuchi held on by Tejeda the third. A bunt attempt missed by Kaysen. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Kaysen with 3 sacrifices on the season. Tai Yukamoto leads the club in that category with 8. 1 ball and 1 strike. A throw to first, and stumbling on his way back, Kevin Takeuchi. He fell down shy of the bag and then kind of had to scramble to call to touch the bag before the tag was applied. He didn't have that far to go, but he just sort of fell in front of the bag and got there just in time. Kaysen squares and takes just outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Kaysen squaring very early. That has always, for me, connoted the other team kind of smelling a rat if the square comes too early. Feel like the slash might be in play, but Kaysen kept the barrel out. Now he's not squaring early this time. Now he's beginning to with a count of 2-1, and he gets a good bunt down to the left of the mound, barehanded by Santos, throws to Tejeda the third at first for the out. But the sacrifice executed nicely by Kaysen. 1-3, 1 away. Kevin Takeuchi to second. Luke Lavin with an opportunity to drive in a big run here. Coulter McAnally on deck. Luke Lavin has flied to center twice and struck out. Tito Santos comes set. The right-hander to Luke. A fly ball into left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Takeuchi rounding third. He'll be held. The throw coming in from Deshaun Harris all the way to the plate. Into second base on the throw goes Luke Lavin. The Knights with runners at second and third and 1 out. Takeuchi did not immediately break. He held up long enough that dissuaded Brook with respect to trying to send Kevin. Had Kevin gone on contact and been able to sort of process, hey, that ball's going to drop, he would have been able to score, but the hesitation cost him any chance of that, or at least of Brook deciding to send him with Colter McAnally, the batter. Runners at second and third and one out. The Knights leading 6-5. That's the other thing about the great Willie, number 24. Tim McCarver, outstanding catcher and ball player himself and broadcaster and baseball writer and commentator, said that Willie was the best base runner in the history of the game. The first pitch on the outside corner, knee high to Coulter for a strike, 0-1 the count. That in all the years Tim saw Willie play, and they played many times against one another, McCarver with the Cardinals, Willie with the Giants. So Willie just, quote, never made a base running mistake. The strike one pitch, McAnally, a line drive to left field. The catch is made by Jack Salmon, tagging is Takeuchi. The throw to the plate is cut off. Colter McAnally with a sacrifice fly to left. The Knights lead at 7-5. That worked out well for Brook, putting the brakes on rather than gambling and having a runner thrown out at the plate. He trusted McAnally to get the ball in the air in a better run-scoring situation. Takeuchi tagging, scoring ahead of the throw from Jack Salmon. 7-5 Knights in the bottom of the eighth. Luke Lavin held at second. McAnally with a run batted in. Peyton Miller has two, has a chance for a third. He takes low and in, ball one, 1-0. 7-5 Knights in the bottom of the eighth inning. But it wasn't just a matter of not making mistakes, but that Willie could deke outfielders. He could get guys to try to make throws, feign stumbling from first to second, hoping he'd make a throw. I mean, just a genius on the base paths as a base runner. The 1-0 pitch, a strike to Peyton Miller, and the count 1-1. And he could get from first to third as well as anyone in the history of the game, which Tim McCarver said is one of the more underrated aspects of the game of baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Peyton Miller, who swings and hits one foul in the air off first. The wind pushing the ball back towards the field of play, but not far enough for the first baseman, Richard Tejeda III, to chase it down. 1-2 the count, 2 down. Bottom of the eighth inning, 7-5. The Knights in front. In the top of the ninth inning, Tejeda III, Jack Salmon, and Kyle Mamarian, the scheduled hitters for Ridgefield. Peyton Miller looking for his third run batted in from the bottom of the order tonight. The 1-2 pitch is a wild one to the backstop. Luke Lavin into third base. 2-2 to Peyton Miller. Thomas Ferraggiaro on deck. Ridgefield exploded out of the gate with a 4-run first, highlighted by Justin Stransky's 3-run home run. Stransky homered again in the third, but Ridgefield has not scored since. The Knights even matters with 5 runs in the fourth, went ahead in the sixth, have added to the lead here in the eighth, and now looking for another. 7-5 Knights, bottom of the eighth, the 2-2 pitch, high and inside to Peyton Miller, ball 3, 3-2. Lavin gets his lead from third. Tito Santos to the plate. Ground ball wide of third and through into left field for a base hit. Luke Lavin comes in to score. Miller with his third run batted in. The Knights lead at 8-5. That'll bring Thomas Ferraggiaro to the plate. Big night for Peyton Miller, who will be our Washington Park Advisors Player of the Game. Ferragamo takes a fastball from Tito Santos for a strike. 0-1 the count. Delaney has been up here waiting and wondering who's your player of the game. And I gave her Peyton Miller a while ago. I said, Leanne, come check with me again to confirm. And Miller just sealed it. No balls and a strike. The 0-1 offering from Santos is high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. That means there will be some social media stuff available on Peyton Miller that you'll be able to access on the Knights YouTube channel later. The 1-1 pitch just high to Ferragamo. Ball 2, 2-1. Thomas has been hit by a pitch, walk, popped to short, and grounded out to second. A good play by Grennert to the hole, taking a base hit away from Ferragamo. 8-5 Knights, bottom of the 8th inning. Tito Santos to the plate, high, ball 3, 3-1. Tai Yukamoto on deck. Three balls and 1 strike to Thomas Ferragamo. Peyton Miller held on by Richard Tejeda III. The 3-1 pitch is in there for a strike. The count goes full to 3-2. Miller will take off on the pitch, 3-2 and 2 down. 8 runs, 8 hits for the Knights, 5 runs, 8 hits for Ridgefield. Miller poised to go. He does. The 3-2 pitch is stroked to center field and playable. Deshaun Harris back to make the catch. The inning is over, but the Knights get 2 big insurance runs. And we go to the 9th. The Knights 3 outs away from winning the series. But Ridgefield has been a hot team and a confident one, so work to do for Gabe Hernandez and the Knights. At the end of 8, the Knights 8, Ridgefield 5, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
I mentioned the confidence of this Ridgefield Raptors team, and it shows on the first pitch of the top of the 9th inning. Down 8-5, a club that had won 13 straight games prior to last night gets a leadoff single from Richard Tejeda III, who will be lifted now for a pinch runner. Drew Townsend will run for Tejeda. With the Knights leading 8-5 with those 2 runs that they just scored in the bottom of the 8th inning looming very large here. Jack Salmon steps in. Drew Townsend, the pinch runner for Tejeda, who was homered, doubled, and now singled. Gabe Hernandez to Jack Salmon. Jack takes outside, ball 1, 1-0. 8-5 Knights, top of the 9th inning. A first pitch leadoff single for Richard Tejeda III here in the 9th. Hernandez 1-0 pitch. Salmon slashes the fastball foul near the Knights dugout. The count 1-1. Kyle Mamarian, the on-deck hitter. 8-5 Knights in the top of the ninth. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. Jack has struck out, had an infield single, and singled to right. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Jack. Out of the stretch works Gabe Hernandez. The pinch runner Townsend gets his lead. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled at the plate. The count remains 1-2. Ridgefield jumped out early in this one, 4 runs in the first, and led 5-0 until the Knights erupted for 5 of their own in the bottom of the fourth, and now lead at 8-5, trying to bring this second game of the series home. Salmon sprays the fastball foul above the upper concourse on the left side, well out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Coulter McAnally holding on the runner Drew Townsend at first base. 1-2 to Jack Salmon. Time called. Gabe Hernandez wants his battery mate Luke Lavin to go through the sequence of signs again. And now Gabe, the right-hander, out of the stretch. And the 1-2 pitch to Salmon. Hit slowly back towards the pitcher Hernandez, who juggles, decides against throwing to second, gets the shore out at first, 1 away. Underhanding the ball to Coulter McAnally. On the play, moving to second base, the pinch runner, Drew Townsend. We may see a hitter now for Mamarian. Kyle had struck out, sacrificed, and grounded into a double play, but it appears as though Coach Cota is going to go with a hitter for Mamarian. And the hitter will be Isaiah Chacon, Mount Hood Community College. In the top of the ninth inning, left-handed hitter, Chacon awaits with the Knights leading 8-5. Townsend at second with 1 out. Hernandez to the plate. Fastball swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike the count. Chacon, a catcher, has appeared in 13 games. He's at .206 with 8 runs batted in. The strike 1 pitch, fastball up from Gabe. 1 ball and 1 strike the count in the top of the ninth inning. Hernandez, the pride of Barstow and Cal State Northridge, delivers, and it's pulled sharply on a hop, backhanded by McAnally, takes it to the bag himself, 2 down. Excellent play by Coulter McAnally, and the Knights are an out away from winning the series. The batter will be Deshaun Harris, who is 0 for 3. And that would be a bit of a slump breaker for the Knights in that they had lost their last series against Bend and had lost 2 of their last 3 series, but they won last night 7-5, lead this one 8-5. Harris swings and fouls one back of the plate, no balls and a strike. Kind of righting themselves after a rare slump by their standards, losing 2 out of their last 3 series. Coming in 30-10, still the best record among the 16 teams in the league. A strike 1 pitch on the way to Harris. Hit slowly back in front of the plate, fielded by Lavin, and then he throws the ball over the head of Coulter McAnally and down into the right field corner. In to score is Townsend, and into third base. On the throwing error by Lavin goes the speedy Deshaun Harris. It's now the Knights 8 and Ridgefield 6, and the tying run comes to the plate, represented by Andrew Grennert. And Chris Cota may have another move in him. Either that or he wants to talk to Grenard. I'm not quite sure what he has in mind here. It's now 8-6. The Knights were close to ending the game. I mean, very close. But Lavin throwing that fastball down to first had a lot on it, but threw it past Coulter McAnally deep into the right field corner. The pinch runner, Drew Townsend, scoring easily. It's an error all the way on Luke Lavin on what turned out to be kind of a swinging bunt for Deshaun Harris. 8-6 Knights in the top of the ninth inning. The tying run, Grenard, comes to the plate with 2 down. And the Knights still, a phrase that certainly Bob Gilder could relate to, understands. Bob's still here looking on with work to do, looking for that 27th out. The first pitch from Gabe Hernandez, a strike, and the count 0-1. Cool, breezy night. The Knights trying to bring it home, but the Raptors, as has been their wont lately, putting pressure on to the end. The strike one pitch just misses, and the count 1-1. 13 straight wins for the Raptors coming into last night's ball game. The Knights won it 7-5. They lead this one 8-6. 2 outs in the ninth. The 1-1 pitch, a ground ball to the right of the second baseman Miller. Peyton fields and fires and gets him. And the Washington Park Advisors player of the game fittingly ends the game on a good defensive play. 4-3. The Knights win it 8-6. Miller with 3 runs batted in. Some excellent defensive work. Sean Weiss, the winning pitcher. Gabe Hernandez gets the save, and the Knights have cooled off the red-hot Ridgefield Raptors, who had won 13 straight coming into the series. The Knights have taken the first 2 games of this series, 7-5, and tonight 8-6, and will be out to try to get the sweep tomorrow at the Rourke. The Knights overcome the hot start for Ridgefield. A 3-run home run from Justin Stransky and a solo shot from Stransky. A home run from Richard Tejeda III. But the Knights do come back with 5 runs in the 4th inning and then go on to win it 8-6, and will be seeking a sweep of the series tomorrow night at the Rourke in Ridgefield. That's going to do it for us tonight. For our crew this evening of Jake Linder, Brian Thomas, Evan Bach, and Dale Hummel, this is Mike Parker from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, thanking you for joining us. Our final score on this Wilson Motors night before a crowd of 2,469. The Knights 8 and Ridgefield 6. We'll see you tomorrow night at the Rourke in Ridgefield on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.